Hi everybody. Why is it so difficult to talk? To talk about how we're feeling, expressing our feelings. Why has it become so difficult to talk about mental health? Yeah, we all have mental health. We've all got mental health. As a kid growing up, we come across these stressful moments, tough challenges in life. Yeah, what do? We push it away. We push that stressful moment away. We don't talk about it. How many people has come home from work and said, "Oh, I had a stressful day. Let's just hope tomorrow's a better day," and just leave it at that. Okay, that stressful moment may not become so much of a problem because, like I said, we all come across stressful times. We all feel stressed at some times, but like I said, we push them away. But what happens is it goes into your subconscious mind and it's just left there. And we carry on. It's normal. But what happens is the more as you go through life, you may come up against more tough challenges. And what happens becomes more of a problem to our mental health is being in a stressful environment, a prolonged stressful environment. That's where it becomes more of a problem. The cycle keeps happening more often. So that stress builds and it becomes more of a problem. But at the same time, we still push it away. We continue, and like I said, it becomes more of a problem. It starts to affect our mental health more. Like with problems, depression doesn't come just like that. It could, I should say, lead into depression. If then that stress, whatever you're going through, isn't dealt with, and you continue to go through it, it can lead into more things like depression and even more. So why do we do it? Why do we do this? Why do we push it away? And I think when it comes to a point as when you've got to that point where you can't cope, you put that barrier up. You put the barrier up there because it starts to affect your emotions and your feelings. That barrier's there, you're protecting yourself because you don't want to get hurt no more. So you lay that barrier there. And a lot of the time is because of fear. Fear steps in the way. The world we live in, fearful society we live in, what mental health in itself, what it was betrayed, how it was betrayed over the years, all the things that went on around it. It wasn't talked about enough. It wasn't understood enough. There's a lot, like the stigma that grew around it. Like, how often in a normal conversation do people, talk about their feelings and emotions? When you see somebody and you have a general conversation with them, it isn't talked about enough. We don't say enough about it, how we're feeling. Like I said, we push it away. And the fear, I don't want to get hurt no more. I'm hurt, I'm suffering. You protect yourself by putting that barrier up. Those emotions, those feelings, becoming numb to it all. So that's where, as well, it becomes more of a problem. That's where you just don't want to talk about it. It's not easy to talk either about how you're feeling. It should be. It should be easy to talk about, but it's not. A lot of it is worrying about what other people are going to think. And because of what has been betrayed around mental health in the past, how society has treated mental health doesn't help itself. Like I said, it wasn't talked about enough. There was a lack of understanding in it, and yet, like I said, we all have mental health. We all got it in us. We've got emotions. We've all got emotions. We've all got feelings, and it's sometimes those emotions and those feelings, we suffer a little bit. Whether it's just a small little thing, like I said, a stressful day, just a little bit of stress, we're still suffering. If we're saying to ourselves, God, I've had a stressful day, then it's bothered you. But what you've done, you pushed it to one side. And like I said, it can become more of a problem. So we're all doing it. We all do it. We all push it to one side, just on the hope it's going to go away. But like I said, in some cases, it doesn't go away. It leads to more. And it becomes even more of a bigger problem in just saying it, just saying how you're feeling. Because you've been hurt, like I said, you've been hurt so many times. You just put that barrier up. You put that barrier there. And like I said, the fearful society that we're living in, because of it, a lot of it's fearing of being doubted, not being believed as well. The shame, just feeling shame in yourself. So you build a stigma within yourself around it, and that's what happens. The stigma goes within yourself as well with it all. Now, with many sort of other illnesses, there's many illnesses out there, and it's not just society how it's been portrayed, it's the media as well, how they portray it, how they come along and portray a mental illness, like the more severe ones. Something happens and straight away, oh, it's someone that's got, I don't know, schizophrenia. It's putting stigma around those people, and it's hard enough for them as it is to try and cope with it. So you've got that stigma, and then everybody else makes their own mind up and thinks everybody is the same. How can somebody judge somebody if they don't even know that person? We shouldn't be too quick to judge that everybody is the same. And that's what it's like. And that's what it's been like with like mental health itself. Too quick to judge, and that's where it needs to stop, because the simple fact is people have lost their lives because of it. They've either tried to commit suicide, or they have, because of a lot of it is they're trying to protect their self from it all. They can't cope with it no longer. So they think that's the only way out, because they think they're not going to be listened to or believed. And that's where it needs to stop, because it's a serious thing, and that's what we need to realise. Mental health isn't something that should be brushed under the carpet. So talking about it as well, that is one of the, we all know in ourselves that just by talking about how we're feeling, it lightens that load. It gets rid of some of that stress, some of that weight off our shoulders. All right, it's not a cure, but it's the start of being able to cope a bit better. Like they say, you've got a stressful situation, you're at work, you're trying to figure something out, and it's really like playing on you, you're really sort of like stressed, you can't think properly. They say, walk away from that problem, walk away from it, come back to it, and you've got more of a clearer mind, you'll be able to cope with it. So we know by doing these things, it do help. So that's why I wanted to do this video, because I feel there's not, like, in our everyday talking, which should change. We should change this in bringing it into the, we talk about mental health, keeping the conversation going, this, that and the other, so we should make it our habit, because we don't talk enough about it. We don't talk about how we're feeling on just a normal stressful day. And in this time that we're going through a tough time. We're all going through a tough time. So all of us, really, in some sort of a way, whether it's small or whether it's big, we're all suffering with our mental health. Now that should make us realise, and that should change the attitude towards mental health in itself. Like I said, keeping that conversation going, being able to talk freely about mental health, being able to talk openly about how you're feeling, expressing yourself. Now it has to come from you. Nobody can talk for you. That is the main thing. Because when it comes from you, you're saying exactly how you're feeling. When it comes from you. Nobody can force you to talk either. You talk when you're ready. You will talk when you're ready to be able to talk. A bit more confident. But I think if it was brought more freely into conversations, we have conversations about different topics, different things. Like, we always see, when we see somebody that we know, what's the first thing they say? Oh, how you doing? Really, we've got a chance there. If we're feeling a bit down, we've got a chance to outlet it, but we still don't. Because there's still that bit there that is stopping us, the fear. And that's where we need to overcome that fear, the fearful society that we live in around it. So, like I said, like bringing it in, talking more in conversation, bringing it out in normal conversation, it could help. It would certainly make things a little bit easier around mental health as well. It's like talking, like I said, about topics now. like politics. Now, not everybody's into politics, but you get like some people, like someone might be in a group and they're talking politics. What happens? A lot of people steer away from it. They steer away from it. Oh no, they back away from it. And that's what happens around mental health. Why is that? Because we haven't talked enough about it. There haven't been enough understanding, enough insight around it. The attitude that has been around it throughout generations. So by doing something just small like that, bringing it into conversation, it will become a habit. And that's what it needs to be. And it could become your habits as well. Everybody's got that choice. Everybody can make a difference. Everybody can make a difference in changing that. And for it to be your habit, in just bringing it up in conversation from time to time, bringing it to the surface a bit more, because I think in the past it's just been brushed to one side when it comes to mental health. That's it. It's been brushed to one side, stirred away from. I know like many people out there that maybe talk, obviously get through that and do start to talk about their mental health, how they're feeling, have done videos, like told their stories. But you know what? They probably will agree with what I'm going to say. There's been a lot of hard work in having to get that far to do that. A challenge in itself to do that as well. So talking about it and just bringing it out into conversation a bit more, because that is one of the problems, the fear of getting hurt. blocking your emotions just go down. But I would say it is possible to do. You know, you do it in your own pace, small steps, by talking about it, and it do become easier, and that weight will lift from your shoulders. You know, anybody out there that is in that predicament, you know, don't rush it. You know, write things down, write it down, get it out somehow, because how it has to come out. You know, those emotions, those feelings, what you've been storing away that keep popping up from your subconscious mind that you push to one side, they have to come out. Those ones that you haven't dealt with, you know, it could be from way back, even as a child growing up, it could have go way back from there. You know, there's scars, but those scars will heal. All those scars that you've had through those tough situations, they will heal in time. Just let them out and do your best. Just talk about it when you're ready, you know, because like I said, they have to come out at some point as well. So it's like, and another thing I want to say before ending the video is, you know, the numbers that you can get, like to talk to somebody, you know, like your Samaritans and so forth. Now, you can get them up on the website, but I'm not sure, but many people may find it difficult to get them up on the website, you know, especially when you're in them moments. When you're in them moments, you know, you're trying to find a number to talk to somebody, it can be very difficult to get, you know. So if that is the case, you're finding that difficult, you know, talk to your family. If you need to talk to somebody and you can't get them numbers up, that you want to talk to somebody else, pick the phone up and talk to your family, or text. Send a text, but be true to yourself and what will happen, you know, and they can support you in getting them numbers a little bit easier for you as well. Give you that bit of support so you've got them numbers at hand, because I think we all should have those numbers at hand, you know, in case of need as well. So I'm going to end the video there. Now, I hope you like this video. It's very important, you know, like they say, talking is important, but it needs to be for the conversation to carry on, for stigma to stop, for people to talk, be able to talk more openly and freely about it. And it can end that stigma within yourself. You know, don't doubt yourself. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There is people out there that are trustworthy, because that's another thing of trust as well. There are trustworthy people out there. You will find that person. There's probably someone there that you know, that is probably there that you know, like your family, your parents. You know, they're trustworthy. You know they're going to support you. They will support you. Whoever it is, you're going to phone, you can talk to. There are people out there. So, like I said, please share this video and give us a like.